Hello again, it's Dr. Scott Peck. I'm glad you're still with me. We're going to be talking about peace skill number 2, set in motion the peace process. This is the second hardest peace skill there is. The first one was to envision peace. Because if you can't envision peace, how are you going to get there? Well, the second hardest skill is to actually make the decision within your own heart that you're going to go for peace, that you're going to be a peacemaker, that you're going to create peace. Sometimes when you're a part of the conflict, and you know this from your life experience, let's say you've had an argument with somebody close to you. You feel angry and you're mad at them and you feel like you were right and they were wrong, and it's just a position you rehearse over and over and over till you're just tired of hearing it yourself. At some point you have to decide, is this relationship more important to you, or do you just want to keep on being right and being in turmoil about this? And you finally, if you love the other person, and really if you love yourself, you decide, you know what, life is bigger than this. I'm going to create peace. I'm going to get past my ego. I'm going to get past this, and I'm going to start by creating peace. Now, you haven't done anything yet. You haven't said anything. You've taken no action, but it's an internal decision you've made that you're going to jump out of the crap and into peace. If there's someone else who's got a conflict going on, and you're part of that conflict, or you're trying to help them, it's the same thing. You have to decide, do I even want to be involved in this, or I'll let them fight it out? Or do you want to engage in being a peacemaker and helping someone else get to peace? Well, again, that's a decision, an internal decision. Interesting. It's so hard for most people to envision peace. And even if you've watched the last video, which I hope you have, about how to envision peace, and let's say you've done it successfully. Yeah, I can envision that I'll get past this argument. I can see myself being in a happy place and all that. Well, that's good envisioning, but then to make the decision that you're actually going to go for the peace, to create it, well, you'll come up against a lot of resistance. Scott, I still am angry. I still don't want to do this. This is not my deal. I want to wash my hands of it. You're going to find it very difficult to make this internal decision. That's why envisioning peace is phase 1. And notice these huge walls that you have to, it's like a 12-foot wall that you've got to climb over to get to envisioning peace. And then once you're envisioning peace, there's another 12-foot wall, which is, are you going to set in motion the peace process in your own heart? I'm not underestimating how hard this is. I'm trying to help you understand what a big deal this is to, 1, envision peace, and what a big deal it is to, 2, make the decision in your heart that you're going to create peace. No one else is going to know about your decision. It's not up to anybody else. They don't have a vote. They can't stop you. You don't have to get approval. This is all happening within yourself. So these first 2 peace skills, envision peace and set in motion a peace process within yourself, are invisible peace skills. So you might say, truthfully, that the giant peace process begins with 2 invisible steps. And it just so happens that the 2 most important steps in creating peace are invisible. Envisioning and making the decision for you to be the peacemaker. Now, I just want to give you a peek ahead, because I don't know where you are in your expertise of creating peace. You may be listening to this and thinking, I don't know what comes next. Or you may be someone who's a seasoned peacekeeper and you know what comes next, in which case you still know this is a tough decision. Here's a little glimpse of what's coming next. As a seasoned or even unseasoned peacemaker, what's coming next is you got to get the feelings out. And that's not going to be very sweet, or that's going to be messy. You have to listen with compassion. That's hard to do, especially if somebody's mad at you. You have to express unconditional positive regard. Wow, is that hard? Yes. You have to be loving and detached, not caught up in the conflict. Is that hard? Yes. You need to encourage loving speech by your own modeling. Is that hard? Yes. You need to gently move past the story. Everybody's got a story. You've got a story. You repeat it over and over. You've got to move past that story. Is that hard? Whoa! That is so hard that some people, frankly, probably the majority of people, can't get past their story for their entire lives. And they die in their story. It's sad, but that's just the blunt truth. But if you can get past the story, you start exploring solutions for unity and justice, and you start creating openings for forgiveness. Wow, this is advanced stuff. And then you start creating a peace ending. All of that is coming, but it all starts with envisioning and then making the decision to create peace. Once you make that internal decision within, you're saying, yes, I know all of this stuff's I've got to go through all of these stages now, but this is the way you get to peace. This is the key idea. Peace is not an outcome. It's not a treaty. It's not something you sign. Peace is a process that builds trust and creates love and creates unity. It's a process. Envisioning peace is step one in the process. Invisible to everybody else. Setting in motion, deciding to create peace, making that internal decision, is step two in the process. But once you've done those two things, envision peace and made the decision to go for it, then the action can spill out. It's exciting. You see, knowing what's coming ahead and knowing that it's a process and not an outcome, you can be relaxed. Really, you can, as a professional peacemaker, or even as a professional in your own family, in your own life. You can be relaxed because you know the process is going to work. Now, you may not know this from personal experience yet, but if you're a seasoned peacemaker and you know you've been through this process, then you know what I'm saying is true. The process is inescapable. It works so deeply and so powerfully that conflict cannot survive this process of peace. Isn't that a fabulous statement? Conflict cannot survive this process of peace. Another way of saying it is conflict cannot live in an environment of love. But that's a general statement. These are 12 ways you express love that just eradicate conflict, dissolve it. It's very exciting, as you can see. And now you've got your arms around step two, which is to set in motion in your own heart the peace process. I hope you'll stay with me, because we've got a lot coming that's very exciting, and I applaud you and love you as a fellow peacemaker. And if you're watching this video and you haven't been to the website thelovecenter.com, make sure you go to thelovecenter.com/peace.htm, or just go to the Love Center and you'll see the link, and look at the Peace Guide, the whole thing that shows all this process in a clear chart. I hope you'll do that, and there's lots of free, wonderful information there, including the Love Skills course, which is the 40 love skills that had preceded the peace skills. And if you really want to be a peacemaker, you got to get those 40 love skills under your belt too. I love you. Thanks for being with me.